Isang magandang Martes sa inyong lahat, April 19, 2022, Easter Tuesday. Ito po ang The Stock Market Today. Kung first time niyo po sa channel na ito, ako po si Benji Chodoro, isang retired bank officer na nagsimula mag-invest sa Philippine stock market. Noong 2007, ginagawa ko po itong report araw-araw which I started noong August of 2020. I also report the latest news on your favorite and most active stocks. If you like the content, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. If you have stocks in mind that you want reviewed, please comment on the comment box and I will prioritize. I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say in this channel should not be construed as financial advice. Get well soon to my second cousin. Your dad and I are praying for you. Ang ating financial news ay tungkol sa SM Prime kasama ang ating financial headlines at ang resulta ng trading sa ating PSE ngayong araw, Tuesday, April 19, 2022. Dito lamang sa The Stock Market Today. Okay, let's go to our financial headlines with BDO Securities. Okay, in the macro news, remittance growth slows in February. NEDA pushes for nationwide alert level 1. Then T-bill rates mixed amid strong demand. So yung 91-day T-bill, ito po yung benchmark ng ating interest rates is 1.22%. Okay, in company news naman, vehicle sales jumped 22% month-on-month in March. Glows Asticom in talks with JV's acquisitions. Then, Cebu Pacific adds Vismin flights. However, our main news is not here. It's in Philstar. SM Prime's full year 21 profit up 21% to 21.8 billion pesos. Yan po. Okay, the C family's real estate development holding company SM Prime made 21.8 billion in profit for the full year 2021, up 21% from 18 billion that it made in full year 2020. SMPH consolidated revenues were basically flat, up 1% to 82.3 billion, mostly on an 8% increase in rent received from its malls, office buildings, and convention centers. The residential real estate business was down a couple of percent in terms of sales and flat in terms of reservations. Past performance aside, SMPH plans to allocate 80 billion to CAPEX this year, up 23% from the 65 billion it allocated to CAPEX last year. SMPH will finance the CAPEX funding with internally generated funds and external borrowings. Now, there is a commentary here which I'd like to share with you, which is quite interesting. This is a commentary from the Philstar. No? Is SMPH the next property developer to birth a REIT? The C family has an absolute juggernaut by market cap standards and has a huge catalog of mature real estate assets that could be spun off into a REIT to generate a good chunk of capital. Last year, after BDO speculated that the initial value of the SMPH REIT would be in the 50 billion peso range, the whisper wire was that the group wanted to wait and see how the late 2021 entrance to the REIT space fared before going through the process of listing its own REIT. Well, since then, PhilInvest REIT, RL Commercial REIT, MREIT, and Citycore Energy REIT have all hit the market in successful IPOs and have unlocked billions upon billions in capital for their respective real estate developer parent companies. While the C-REIT IPO is not particularly representative of the assets that SMPH could push into a potential REIT, the PhilREIT, RCR, and MREIT IPOs certainly were. Maybe SMPH wants to see the market reaction to a mall-based REIT first before it joins the party, so it's willing to see how we all react to Manny Villar's Vista REIT, which is scheduled to launch with a portfolio composed mostly of malls and modest collection of office towers. Are we a successful VREIT IPO away from an SMPH REIT announcement? The company does not appear to be rushing things, and the board isn't particularly outspoken on the issue, so we all can really do is just wait. So very interesting po, no? Very interesting. And if ever SM comes up with a REIT, probably it would rival the A-REIT of Ayala Corporation. That's just my personal assessment or personal opinion. Okay? And then may I also share with you this, I just saw this summary, yung weekly wrap ni BDO-SEC, and I'd just like to share with you some things here, no? In the market analysis, this is the week in review by BDO-SEC, no? Market analysis, S&P Global Ratings expect the BSP to significantly tighten policy rate this year, about 50 basis points, in order to safeguard the economy from external risk. Then the Philippine Composite Index is down 3% so far this month. We expect equities to remain volatile in the weeks ahead because of monetary policy actions of central banks and the Russia-Ukraine war. We continue to recommend a balanced portfolio, that's BDO-SEC, economic opening place in property, banks, and conglomerates, defensive stocks in power and utilities. Yeah. Okay, stocks to watch. AGI rallied 2.3% week on week after a steep share price run up on liquor unit EMP, which obtained conditional eligibility in the Singapore Exchange. And then AEB rose 2% week on week on sustained optimism of its power and banking units. Investors picked up WLCON following its 7.2% decline the week prior. The stock trades at premium valuation, so mataas yung PE ratio niya compared to peers. Converge jumped 4.5% week on week, pairing its loss the week prior. We continue to like the stock given its superior earnings growth trajectory as it continues to ramp up network coverage. Investors pocketed gains on ICT and MER following their strong 12.5 to 26.7 year-to-date share price rally prior to last week's correction. We remain positive on both stocks. URC dipped 2.8%, likely on profit-taking following its 17.1% rally since its 52-week low. Meron siyang buy rating on URC. Property index names corrected last week, such as Ali, MEG, RLC, SMPH, on concerns over rising borrowing costs. Okay, so yan po yung week in review ni BDO Securities, and let's check on your comments of our dear subscribers. Maraming po salamat sa inyong pag-subscribe. Okay, some comments here from Frank Nifares, Monde and EW sir. Okay. Then Abu Ahmed says, thank you for today, sir. That's yesterday's episode. Thank you po for your comment, Abu. Then Philip Gons, suking-suki ito. Si Philip. Keep it on, sir. Maraming po salamat, Philip, Abu, and Frank for your continued support. Kayo po nagpapalakas ng aking loob para i-continue ko po itong stock coverage on the stock market at sana po ay meron po kayong natututunan. Alright, so let's now go to the Philippine Stock Exchange and the Philippine Stock Exchange Index on how it performed today. So the Philippine Stock Exchange gained 41.63 points or 0.60% up to finish at 7037.74. Kahapon po ay almost flat, 11.21 points. Ngayon po ay 41.68, which is good news, and it's a green, but short but green candlestick. And what I see here is that bearish pa rin po siya, and I don't know if my imagination is getting to me, but I think this is forming a head and shoulders formation, no? Ito po yung left shoulder, ito yung head, ito po yung right shoulder. Kung magkaroon na naman po ng red candlestick, the shoulder would be almost complete. And as we know, the head and shoulder formation is a bearish sign. And based on the technicals, kung tumuloy po ito ng head and shoulders formation, then we are headed for bearish days ahead. Yun po ang aking initial assessment dito sa PSE on the short term. Kasi bearish na po kasi yung ating nakikita dito as our indicators are above the candlestick, and RSI is also below the midpoint at 47, the makings of a bearish trend. Okay? And then on the market summary, 102 companies advanced, 83 declined, while 46 remained unchanged. The all-share index also advanced by 0.51%. All our sectoral indices are up, led by mining at 2.09%. Mamaya po, tignan po natin ang one of the mining stocks, NIKL. Tignan po natin siya. So, yung most active po ay ating tignan. Unahin po natin yung inyong request, MONDE, EW. Let's take a look at Converge, SM. Then we look at WLCON and NIKL. Nandito po si NIKL sa baba. Yan. Okay, so puro positive po ang titingnan po natin today. So, unahin po natin si MONDE. Uy, MONDE had a bounce today, no? Actually, there was a sort of consolidation here, and there was a green, solid green candlestick. Meron news ba itong si MONDE? So, wala. Top 10 stockholders, so this is not it. Okay, so what I see here is that there is, tingnan natin yung support muna. Let's do a parallel channel natin ng konti. Yan, okay. So, ang pinaka-support po natin ay matatagpo na natin sa 1241 based on the parallel channel, while the resistance is at 14.06. Okay? So, the RSI is, well, still below the midpoint at nasa 48 po. But there has been two successive green candlestick. Actually, it is in the middle candle is a doji, but meron pong naging continuation po dito si MONDE, and it looks like there appears to be a recovery on the short term, as our short-term indicator, yung 20-day exponential, is at 13.54, which is higher than the 13.66, meaning on the short term ay maaring naka-recover or nagkaroon ng continuation dito po sa green candlestick dito. Yun po ang aking tingin dito sa MONDE. And it looks promising, although the general sentiment based on our indicators is bearish. On the short term, it is now higher, or the price is now higher than the moving average. Ngayon, if we see another green candlestick and the RSI exceeds 50, meaning naging 55 to 60, then maaring masabi po natin na nagbago na po ang trend. Tingnan natin ang fundamentals ni MONDE. Neutral po si BDO-SEC, no? Nasa 1480 yung kanyang pressure, 11.1% upside, but it's neutral dahil nga nagkakaroon ng inflationary pressures, no? Yung kanyang mga produkto ay naapektuhan ng inflation. Kaya nga yung margins niya are very thin based on the latest financial statements. That is my initial assessment for MONDE. And then, EW naman, East-West. Okay, si East-West naman ay, naku, bearish din siya, no? Bearish po si East-West. At, kung makita natin, nagsasettle po siya dito sa area to, no? Meron na po ako nakikitang support dito po, more or less. Support and resistance po, ito po ay hindi po exact, no? This is an area. At mapapansin po din po natin yung RSI niya ay below 30, and it has been below that area or below 30 starting April 11, but it has been hovering within that area since March. So bearish po ang pinaka-sentiment. However, pagka nagre-reach na po ng 30 yan, it is ripe for a turnaround, or below 30, it's ripe for a turnaround kasi the RSI is showing oversold levels. So the longer that it consolidates with it in this area, then most probably ay baka po mag-turn around ang company or ang stock rather. Yan po ang aking assessment sa East-West. So ang ating pinaka-support ay nasa 799 or within that area, while the resistance nandito po sa 852. Ngayon, meron bang study? Wala siyang fundamentals, no? Hindi siya kasama sa study ni BDO Securities, itong East-West. Okay, so it's bearish. Next is Converge. Converge is turning bullish already. So RSI is at 62, and I think this is already reaching the resistance area here at 30, no, 3060 or 3069, and the next resistance is already at 3289, and yung ating mga indicators are now under the candlestick. So RSI is at 6278, which is a bullish number kasi po tumaas po yan ng above 50 and nasa 60 po yan, ay masasabi po nating maganda po ang performance, yung trend ng stock po ay pataas. Okay? So yan po si Converge, and then tingnan naman natin si SM. SM is bearish din. So it has been moving sideways, but the general sentiment is bearish based on our indicators. RSI is bearish also. Yan po. So ang pinaka-support, nandito po nakikita ko po sa area to, sa 863. Ang pinaka-support po ni SM, and as our indicators are above, yung short, medium, and long term are above the candlestick. So, and RSI is also bearish at 43, somewhat bearish. It ended at 871 today. Then, positive side naman tayo, WLCON. Naku, may surge si WLCON. Although I wouldn't say that this is a breakout dahil wala pong above average volume. But this is a good sign, engulfing green candlestick. Ano? Tingnan na natin yung trades niya. I'm not certain, but there is no volume here. So it has now reached support or resistance level rather. Yan po ang resistance 2950 or near that area. So abangan nyo po tomorrow. So volume is 1.49 million valued at 41.63. But this is just average volume on the stock. Meron bang news dito? Wala rin. Public ownership, wala rin. Okay. So that's WLCON with a surging or with a solid engulfing candlestick. And then finally we have NIKL. Si NIKL ay yan. So maganda yung earnings niya, no? 27.4 billion. And there is volume, ha? There is volume here. Although it appears to be a short candlestick with resistance here at 831, and let's take EMA50 as our support at 7.44. Now, generally, ang nickel po ay a metal which is affected by world prices. Pero kung titingnan po natin ang value ng nickel sa world market, so nasa 33,144 yung value niya, no? Although flat po ang resulta, but probably kaya po nagkaganito to is because of the earnings, no? 27.48 billion yung earnings, yung revenue niya with a net income of 10.64 billion. And this is a 93.81% increase from, I guess, the previous year or the previous quarter. Hindi po ako sigurado doon. But definitely, this is a very good sign which made traders pick up the stock today. Okay? So yan po ang ating report sa stock market. April 19, 2022, ito po si Benji Chitoro nagpapaalala, ang investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagtangkilik at hanggang sa muli. Stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.